Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. It gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll even distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Awesome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of It Is What It Is podcast. I am your host, Cody Kelly. Look, I appreciate my guests. I appreciate my audience. I appreciate you. We have been blessed to have just some amazing voices, amazing talents. And the reason why is because you've subscribed to the channel. And if you want to keep on seeing amazing talents, amazing just gifts to humanity, you got to do two things. Follow me on my two favorite platforms. The first one is at Instagram at CVMK33. And the second one, YouTube at CV Space K, where all amazing content is heard. I have a great guest. I appreciate this brother. His name is Charles Holt. He jumped on. I reached out to him. He acquiesced, and he was like, look, I'll talk about building a sustainable business. So with that being said, how you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the kind words, man. Let's get into the topics, man. Let's get into the topics.
Cool. Look, I appreciate you. How do you look, we are still in the pandemic. Yes, we like to pretend like we're not, but we're still in it. And stability is a virtue that is fleeting, if not having. So, entrepreneurship is a risk, and starting something in a time of uncertainty is a greater risk. How did you build up the courage to be a multi-hyphenated talent, entrepreneur, business professional? Where do you find the courage and the strength from?
Well, first of all, and I know this may be cliche, but first of all, I believe in God. That's first. But secondly, you have to also believe in what you're doing. Regardless of whatever business venture you do, whatever you're trying to start at any time, you have to believe fully in what you're doing. So whether you want to do T-shirts or a boutique, or you want to start a accounting firm or credit repair, things like that, whatever you're doing, you have to believe in what you're doing. Because if not, it becomes stagnant, and you lose a passion for it quickly. So if you believe in what you're doing and you have a true passion for it, your passion alone will drive you to keep going, even when things are slowing down, even when things are becoming very low. You're not getting any sales, you're not getting any movement or traffic on your page or to your business. Your passion and your will to do it will keep you going if you believe in what you're doing. So that's be my main point, to tell people, whatever you're starting, whatever you want to get into, make sure you have a passion for it. Make sure you actually believe in what you're doing. That way, regardless of what happens, you still have the ability and the will to keep going.
No, I totally agree with you. I think, one of the most underrated strengths is confidence, yes. Not just within yourself, but within your producing, and then not being shaken by external factors, right? Like sometimes when we think, well, we're not getting 1 million views, or, we're not hitting certain quota revenue goals, that means it's failed. But the reality is most things are a slow burn, right? As quick or as great as we would like to think we can make things happen, it takes time to make this work, right? So for you, you have, your professional life, and then you started up this business with your wife. Is there strength in that? Like, what do you say to the people who say, well, look, Chuck, I hear what you're saying. You're starting up, business, you have somebody in your corner. They feel like they don't have that. They're on their own, and they're trying to just find the strength to continue, right? Like how do you continue in uncertainty?
Well, again, I think that goes back to the belief. Because you have to have you got to have a uncanny, almost unrealistic idea on what you're doing, outlook on what you're doing, to say the least. Because a lot of times when you first start a business, like when me and my wife first started our T-shirt business, man, it started off hot, real hot. So, and then we kept going. It's easy to keep going when things are going great. And then,
Right.
after a while, when you become a normal face and things like that, things start to slow down a little bit. And then things start slowing down a lot. So, but if you actually believe in what you're doing, you can actually just keep going because you understand that what I'm doing is bigger than me.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying? So you can go because you understand, like, yeah, I'm not getting any sales right now, but if I keep going, if I keep going, who knows what it can be?
Sure.
And then, I look at a lot of people who come before me. I look at people like Jay-Z and Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs, and I see where they began, and I see where they are now. I'm not saying that everybody's going to get to billions and billions of dollars, but the growth that they came from. And then you can compare that to your life because they are regular people just like we were before the billions. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like if they can do it, we can do it. Because like I said earlier, I believe in God, and the Bible says God has no respective person. So that means what He did for you, for them, He can do for you as well. So just take their belief. You know what I'm saying? So if you believe and you keep going and be consistent. Consistency and confidence is key and major parts to anything that's successful.
That's true. No, I totally believe that inner faith and then that consistency factor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Continuing even when you can't track progress.
Yes.
Yeah. Was there ever a breaking point, Chuck? Like in all honesty, man, and I totally agree. When you first start off, everybody's excited for you, pat you on the back, like, man, I'm so proud of you. You doing it, young king. You get all these affirmations and whatnot. But about after month 3, all of a sudden, people not picking up their cell phones. They can't buy from you. They're like, man, all of a sudden, it's like everybody kind of goes ghost. Right. Was there ever a point where you felt like, maybe we should throw in the towel on this one?
For sure. Man, those times come more often than you would think. You get what I'm saying? Like those thoughts and those feelings of, man, it was good while it lasted. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna cut my ties. I done made enough money to pay for my equipment, so I'm good. I broke even, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So those times do come, of course. And then for me, when those times come, I always get a sign. Like when those times come out, I haven't had an order in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then somebody come and get a 50 shirt order or 30 shirt order. And then that right there gives me the confidence to keep going. Okay, maybe everybody not seeing me, but one person saw me. You know what I'm saying? Like with the podcast I'm just starting. My podcast, my first week, I did great numbers. My second week, slight decline, but great numbers still. But the few weeks after that, it started to trickle down. So I missed a couple weeks in recording simply because I was like, man, do I really want to keep going? But I had to think to myself, you only been doing this a few months. These people have been doing this years and don't get the numbers that you've gotten already.
That's true.
And then so after I dropped another podcast episode, and then on one of my comments on one of my pages, somebody said, man, your content is what keeps me going. Don't stop. So there was one person that said that. So that one comment gave me the confidence and gave me the boost to keep going. And if you don't know, I'm the host and owner of They Not Ready for That podcast. Tune in anytime you want to. You check me out on Spotify, Apple, everywhere podcasts are available. They Not Ready for That podcast. But yeah, so that one podcast, that one comment is what gave me the confidence to keep going. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So it's signs for anybody. You can find signs in anything. So I just think you gotta just have that will, have that moment, and just look for those signs because they there.
No, I believe. I think you're totally right. I think God will send you moments of what I call refreshing, right? Like, man, I'm about to quit, and then all of a sudden you just get an email, a call, a note, a text message, something that basically says keep going, right? And it's weird that like it comes out of the most random places, but it's divinely given, right? True. I guess what we're trying to nail down is should we look at redefining what success is? Because when we, everybody wants money. Let's just put it out there. Everybody want money. Don't nobody want to be broke. I ain't never met a person say I want to be broke. I love being broke. Everybody wants money. There's obviously levels of it, degrees of it, how much, that's up for debate, but everybody wants cash. But when we try to define what success truly is, maybe we've looked at it the wrong way. Maybe it's only successful if it really impacts that one person. Maybe we have to rethink success based off of impact and and engagement. Are we looking at it wrong? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think so. I think me personally, I'm a person who believes in equity over equality.
Okay.
And I'm also a person who believes in success is not measured by the amount of dollars you have, but by the road you took to get there. You get what I'm saying? So like, if you have $1 billion, but you was born into 900 million,
right?
You get what I'm saying? So you still did great in your life. You get what I'm saying? You made $100 million. Some people don't make it their whole life. But if you have $100 million and your family was on welfare and WIC, you made $100 million well, but look where you came from. Right. You get what I'm saying? So you didn't have the infrastructure. You didn't have the head start to make this money. You made a way on your own. You get what I'm saying? So I think that person who came from nothing, who came from the mud, just like me, who came from South Memphis. You get what I'm saying? That person is more successful than the person who got $1 billion now. Because to me, it's the distance traveled, not the destination arrived to. You get what I'm saying? So like that's why I look at success. Like me personally, I can't compare myself to anybody else because I know where I came from. I don't know their story. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know your hardships. I don't know what you have to put in to get where you at. But I know I had to. You get what I'm saying? So I can look at myself and look back at where I was last year or 5 years ago, and I can deem myself successful because I know where I was. You get what I'm saying? I know what I was doing back then, and I can truly say that today I'm in a better position. I'm in a better place simply because I kept going. Simply because I had the confidence and the consistency to keep going. You get what I'm saying? Thanks to God and my wife. Things were able to continue to fall into place for me, with hard work, But that's why I think, to get back to the success, I think we have to, adjust our views on success and not just look at it as counting the dollars or counting the cars or counting the materialistic things, but also take a look at where the person came from. Read their story, so to speak, and then see how successful they are. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's because I got this friend who 4 or 5 years ago he was really homeless. We graduated high school together, and he was homeless and things like that. But now he just bought his first home in the suburbs of Memphis. He's bought his first home, whatever. And it's a nice little small house, 1 bedroom, but it's his. You get what I'm saying? So, but I deem him as super successful because I know where he was 5 years ago. You get what I'm saying? I know where he was sleeping on a bridge and going car to car, and now he has a home of his own, bought, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I think his success story is amazing. But on the outside looking in, you would think he just got a little 1 bedroom house. You get what I'm saying?
So he owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he owns it though.
Right.
So let's talk about that. Maybe it's frame of reference. And I don't want to sound cliche like the glass is half full versus half. But maybe it is frame of reference. Maybe is that we have a very, what I would call an MTV Cribs, a Instagram view of success. And when life doesn't equate to that, all of a sudden these feelings of failure creep in. But the reality is that stuff is a facade. That Instagram life is not success, nor is it successful. A lot of it is smoke and mirrors, right? And maybe the messaging is that we have to present real truth. That just because you can't be flued out, and be on vacation to all these exotic places, 3-4 times a year doesn't mean you fail.
True.
And just because you don't have the perfect tan and the perfect teeth doesn't mean that there isn't value in you, right? And I think sometimes we like to create images, false images, if you will, right? And instead of a
Caught up in
real
the
truth
highlights.
that, hey, yeah. I mean, like, instead of a real understanding that, hey, look, life is not like that. Reality is, regardless of the size house, if you can be a homeowner, even if it's in a 1-bedroom or if it's a mobile home, you own that thing. You own it, right? And instead of us teaching that, we teach, no, you got to get the 3.5 bedrooms, the 2.5 baths, the granite countertops, kind of all this ancillary, just fluff that all it does is drown us further in debt.
True. Yeah. I agree, man.
I think the conversation is, where did we go wrong? Where do you think?
How how did you want to go on it, man?
Go ahead. You go as far as to the bottom of the ocean on this.
I think, man. I think from an African American perspective, I think we went wrong from the moment where the shift from slavery to now came. What I mean by that is, I think we went from having to being lowest of the lowest to being 3/4 of a Herman considered. I think because we never had anything in America, because we can go back to our real ancestry, you know what I'm saying, the kings and queens, more and things like that. But in America, we came from not having anything, and so we felt like we had to overcompensate. They fed us these images of wealth and things like that, and made us think that is the real goal. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to read this quote, and it says, once you control what a man thinks, you don't have to worry about his actions. So they constantly feed us these media ideas on social media or the news or TV, things like that, of all these Rolls Royces and Rolexes and matches and things like that. And we think that is success. And then we also think once we can get these things, they are trophies, considering where we came from. You get what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, those things are nice, but they're not the end all be all. They don't define anything or anyone. You get what I'm saying? So I think we went wrong where we came out of our hardships, and then they instantly fed us these ideas of success, and then we do anything to get them. The survival of the fittest. We rob, steal, kill, do what we got to do to obtain this level of success, we think, and then once we get it, we realize that these things are meaningless. These things hold no value in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're nice to have, you can afford them, but in real life, they don't add value to you. It may boost your net worth and things like that, but you as the person, you as the spirit, you as the body, you as the character, they don't add no value to you. You know what I'm saying? So I think along the way, we went from not having anything to overcompensate to wanting everything. You get it? But then we had a false sense of what everything is. Everything is family, everything is love, everything is following God and things like that. And then we adjusted it to everything is money, houses, cars, and jewelry.
House, cars. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think we have taken a model that is designed to destroy ultimately and not uplift and encourage. And we have presented it as truth. And therefore we're all climbing for this thing that will destroy, right? Like it's who cares if you don't get the Lamborghini? Be happy in your Hyundai Sonata. It gets you to the same place that Lamborghini will take you. But the reality is, a Lamborghini is like, and I love, and personally, if I could afford it, I'd buy a Lamborghini. I'm just being honest. I'm not above it.
And I want a Bentley. Don't get me wrong.
Right. But I'm not willing to do any and everything to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a cutoff to that thing. So I totally agree. What do you think is next? Right. So we have, shifted, we're really halfway. We're more than halfway through 2021. Going into the future, where's business going? Right. Like all this, I read a report. They say 41% of workers are contemplating quitting their job. They're just frustrated with it. They said during the pandemic, there's been a rise in entrepreneurship because of the distrust of corporations and whatnot. This essential versus non-essential. And then we have the fight for 15. We have the need and demand for increased wages. Where is business going?
Man, that's a tough question. I think business is actually going toward entrepreneurship. I think in 2021 there are so many avenues to make money that people often think, why would I go work a job?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then I think there's a crutch to that. I think people have that idea and that mindset off a false sense of reality, because in the last year or so we've been given PPP loans, all these stimulus checks and things like that, which is not sustainable. We're not getting that again. You get what I'm saying? Like, all those people who were getting it fraudulently, they might go to jail. You get what I'm saying? So they
are going to jail.
Right.
They don't mind, dog. You go to jail if you took that money illegally. I'll be looking. I'm like, all right, you might be overseas now, but when you come back,
that's fair time. I don't play them games. That's fair time. Yeah. So I think we built that. We built this type of false confidence off a false sense of reality. So yeah, you can start that business now. You got these $20,000-$30,000 in false money, but how you gonna sustain it? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's cool to start this business, but how you gonna sustain it? Like, once this money run out and your business gets slow, how you gonna keep this up? You get it? And then so yeah, like people turning down these jobs and quitting these jobs now, which is cool because you're making money. You got all these stimulus shit, you got the food, you got the PPP loans, all this kind of stuff you're getting right now. What happens when the world opens it back up completely, and people don't have to come to your house to get the food no more? People don't have to shop with you to get their shirts made up. People don't have to, do things just indoors or not big business. They can go to the big stores now because the world is completely open. What do you do then? Are you going to have that? Now, some people going to have the confidence and the will to keep going. Because I started this business, they believe in their business. They're going to keep pushing it, which is a great thing.
Right.
But everybody not cut like that. Everybody ain't built like that to keep going when things are terrible, So I think we gotta get back to reality and continue to walk that fine line of workers and people. And that's okay, because I'm a worker as well. Of workers and entrepreneurs. And people gotta realize it's okay to do both. It's a lot of long nights. It's a lot of sleepless nights. Because you gotta put just about the same amount of hours you put in at home, you gotta put it in at work. So if you can do both, it's great. It's a great idea. That's what I do. But business is headed into a scary place. A strong will survive. That's what I think, man.
No, I'm with you. I think, business definitely is. I think you're going to see a filtering process. So those who got it the wrong way, those who try to cut corners will get cut eventually, right?
Yeah.
But, if you have, to me, designed a company based off of true core values, more than just product, because I think so long we focused on product. I think we've oversaturated the market with product, and I think everybody should have, whether it's t-shirts, whether it's potato chip bags. As Master P would say, get yourself some product, right? Like that's real talk. But at the same token, because the core principles of the organization was never there, the people were not the valuable asset instead of the profit. Product can't replace people. Right? People have to become the core focus. And when you don't have the people power, when you're not focusing on the human development, ultimately it will all erode. Right? Right? Because, I don't care what you're selling, like there's, I remember you can't tell me McDonald's is more, like when I was growing up, dog, McDonald's was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, if you went to McDonald's, you ate good. Now we got, you like what? And this is the days when you could supersize, when a quarter pounder was a real quarter pounder. You ate good. And then now, we got all these other burger restaurants. We got Chick-fil-A. We got all these other competitors. You can't tell me they have the same market share that they once had. Eventually, the product will hit a ceiling. All products hit a ceiling, right? It's going to be the people that take it to the next level. So with that said, I got one last question. I appreciate my guest, Chuck. You've been amazing. You have been amazing. Last question for you, man. You had to speak to those entrepreneurs out there, man, and trying to build something that said, look, I started my podcast. I got this on the side, whether it's credit repair or, I'm, cleaning cars. I'm trying to, whatever the business is, I'm trying to be legit. I'm trying to do it the right way, but, I'm just not seeing it. People that say they support me, they're not coming to anything. It's just a bunch of wordplays and likes on Instagrams, but there's no revenue. What would you tell that person?
If you believe in it, keep pushing. If you believe in it, keep pushing. Because like I tell people a story. I talk to people all the time. I tell people a story. Like I ask people, how long does it take to make a Toyota? People don't know. It take 14 hours to make a Toyota. And then I asked them, how long does it take to make a Rolls Royce? One Rolls Royce. It takes 6 months. You get what I'm saying? So if you apply that logic to your everyday life or to your business you want to start, think about it's easy to start the business. People make business every day. It take 30 minutes to start a business. Get your EIN number, get you a logo. It takes 30 minutes to start it.
Right.
But to keep it going, it takes time. To really become established, it takes time. Just like that Rolls Royce takes 6 months to build one car. It takes time to really become a staple, to really become established. And for some people, it takes 2 years, 3 years. Some people take 5 years to take off. You know what I'm saying? But if you believe in what you're doing and you're really trying to impact people, you're really trying to change your life or somebody else's life, you have to keep going. Now, if you're just doing something to make money, your emotions will be fickle. You probably fall off one time. You probably say, forget it. But if you're doing something to really do something in life with yourself or your family or your people you're talking to or trying to impact, just keep going, because eventually, whatever you're doing is going to be prosperous in more ways than one.
I like it. I like it. It sounds good.
Yes, sir.
Chuck, you have been amazing, man. I always say support gets supported. And the cool thing about support, it's free. It costs you nothing. No effort, no money, no cash to support. Yeah. You want to keep seeing amazing influencers like Chuck, you got to connect with me, CVNK33, and on YouTube at CV Space K. But Chuck, where can the people connect with you? Where can they follow you on social media?
Oh, man, you can follow me add me on Facebook at Charles M. Hall. Add my business page at Classic Creations on Facebook. You can join my podcast group at They Not Ready for That podcast on Facebook. And also follow me on Instagram at They Not Ready for That podcast on Instagram. Man, we're gonna tap in and also listen to my podcast. It's pretty good, man. I'll be having good guests on there. I'm gonna have Cody on there. We're gonna tap in, man.
Let's do it.
They Not Ready for That podcast on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, anywhere podcasts are available. You can find me there. They Not Ready for That podcast, hosted by your boy Chuck, man.
Let's go, y'all. Connect with Chuck. They Not Ready for That podcast. Hit him up on all social media platforms. Let him know that you're listening, that you support him, man. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe to his page. Subscribe to my page, man. Let's keep this thing going. This is beautiful. I appreciate you, brother. Until next time, thanks.